Good afternoon, LEC community. Thank you for being with us for another episode of Ask an Educator. My name is Susana Elizarraz, and I am the Deputy Director of the Latinx Education Collaborative. I have no idea why my name is not showing up. I am not like a technology person. So, you just have to remember that my name is Susana. I have the amazing pleasure of having Anyi Mosquera with us today. And if you didn't catch it yesterday, she was on our Afro Latinx educator panel yesterday with other amazing educators. So, Anyi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Although the weather is kind of crazy today, it's snowing. Oh.
Yes, it's snowing
Well,
here in Kansas City if you're not in Kansas City. So, it is kind of crazy here. Angie, how did it feel yesterday being on the panel and being around other Afro Latino educators? And I love the conversation. Like they were really an important conversation to be had. How do you feel?
yes, it was a really great conversation. I felt encouraged from them. So it was amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot about the experience of other Afro Latinx educators.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was interesting. At one point, you said, in Colombia, I'm not Afro Latina. I'm not, Latina. En Colombia se dice Afro, ¿verdad? En Colombia. That was really interesting to hear because Latinidad is really mostly here in the United States, right? En Mexico, a
Right.
mí tampoco me dicen Latina, soy mexicana, right? Or actually in Mexico, they refer to me as Americana because I was born here, but pero no existe Latinidad, at least in Mexico. And you mentioned that about Colombia también.
Yes. For me, as I said that yesterday. It's something new because here, there I'm black or an Afro, but here, oh my God, I'm Afro plus Latina, so from Latin America. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. Well, I jumped in too far because I got so excited about having you on again. Tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
okay, my name is Angie Giselle Mosquera, actually, my full name.
Oh wow, I love it.
Yeah, I'm from Colombia, from especially from Chocó, Quito, the Pacific coast. Um, what I do now, I'm a Spanish teacher here in Kansas City, Guadalupe Center High School. I teach Spanish all grades from ninth grade to 12th grade. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. You teach a large Latino population, right? So do a lot of the students you teach speak Spanish as well? Are they bilingual?
Yes, that's correct. They are
Mm-hmm.
bilingual. They know Spanish. Um, many of them Spanish is their first language or primary language. So yes,
Awesome, interesting. Funny story. You teach some of my former students. I was a sixth grade teacher. Yeah, and
oh, really?
I know I found out that a lot of my students go to Guadalupe Center. So it's really cool to have that connection. Maybe one day I'll come to your class and the students will recognize me. Did they were at, I don't know if but they were at UMKC. What was it, 2 weeks ago? And I went and saw some of my former students, so that's kind of fun. It's
Oh,
always
that's nice.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice.
Well, tell us about you. Tell us about your upbringing, kind of where you were raised, how you were raised, your life as a child, or kind of what has led you here as a teacher. Your journey to becoming a teacher.
Okay. Do you have time for this long story?
Right, I know.
Okay. I was born and raised in Colombia. Eh, I have been here in the US like for around 4 years, almost 5 years now. I first came here in 2017 as an exchange student. I participate in a program called Amity. And I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I love Tulsa. I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was there. I was like a teacher assistant in fifth grade. And so it was science and social study class. I was there, and then I went back to Colombia in 2018. But it was funny because before I before I went to Colombia, I went to Chicago uh, to see a professor from Colombia, from my country.
Wow.
She was there. She was in a conference. She was participating in a conference, and then there I met someone from the University of Missouri, Columbia. I did my master in a Mizzou, and a
Mhm.
tiger. I did my master there at Mizzou, and so I met one of the shared departments from the university from my program in Mizzou, like Romance languages. So, and he told me about the program at Mizzou, the master, if I was interested in apply to that program. I was like, why not? Let's do it. But it
Mhm.
wasn't in my it wasn't in my plan to come here to do my master. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that was a little twist in my life.
Mhm.
And then I went back to Colombia because I needed to organize my papers and do some like English exam and like yes, those kind of stuff before I
Mhm.
can come back here. So yeah, I went back. I present my TOEFL exam, and then in 2019 I came back to do my master at Mizzou, and I finished this year. I graduate. No, I still thinking in 2021. I graduated last year in May. Yeah, I got my
Congratulations.
master. I
That's
got my
awesome.
master there. And then I was like, okay, now I had to start applying for jobs, and everything. Then I start like applying for job, and then I got the opportunity to work here in Guadalupe Center High School, and move here to Kansas City. So,
Yeah,
and here I am.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So you went back and forth to Colombia a couple of times. Do you have family still in Colombia?
Yes, my family is in Colombia. I just have one brother here in the US. He's in South Carolina. He's a Spanish teacher as well.
Nice.
Yeah, but all my family is in Colombia.
How do are they so proud of you that you're up here and doing it and all the things?
Yes, they are very proud, and the like the only girl. I mean, I had three brothers and the baby. So
Aw.
yes, they are proud the baby sister.
Yeah, I bet they miss you.
And I miss them.
I
I
miss
miss them.
them.
Yeah, I miss my family.
Is your brother Carlos?
Yes. Oh,
Ah,
I see.
Carlos is with us. Hi, Carlos. He says we really are. Oh, they're very
Yeah.
proud of you. He said. Um, my son's name is Carlos too. I love that name. Thank you, Carlos, for being with us and supporting your sister. Carlos was with us last night too at the panel. I didn't realize he was your brother.
Yes, they are very supportive. Always, always there for me. Always, always.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I can imagine that it is difficult to be in Kansas City without your family, and so LEC community, you heard it. We're Angie, we're your family. We're here to support you as well. It's really exciting. Congratulations on getting your master's and all the amazing things that you have going on. we have a question actually in the audience, which was going to be my next question, and is a good one. So the question is, what are some of your challenges? Specifically, Richard. Hi, Richard wants to know what were some of the challenges in getting your master's degree.
Oh, as an international student, you have a lot of challenges, a lot.
Mm,
Uh, the main one was like being far away from home.
mm,
Being far away from home. Sometimes you, oh my God, you want to go back. You
mm,
really want to go back and adapting myself to the system, the educational system here in the US, like the culture.
mhm,
Even though I was here, but it's still like I still I needed to like adapt myself
mm,
to like the college life here in the US. So
mhm,
yeah, I guess missing home for me is missing home.
mhm.
One of the most biggest challenge getting my
Yeah.
master.
Yeah. I'll speak on that a little bit as well. Something I realized about my master's really quick is that um, our bachelor's versus a master's, at least for mine, master's is a lot more reading. Was your program like that? Like bachelor's is not as much reading. Masters, they're like, have 6 chapters read by next week. And I'm like,
Wow,
when?
15 pages essays. Oh no.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Especially because my master is in literature. I had to read a lot, a lot.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Richard, if you're thinking about, getting your master's or anyone, I think one of my main challenges was definitely how much reading and writing it is. Angie, what are some, I'm pivoting a little bit because I'd like to hear, if someone who's in your similar situation, maybe they're an international student or they're moving to a new place to pursue teaching or a degree, do you have any advice for someone who's kind of missing their family and who's far away from family, on how to, stay motivated?
Yes, yes, actually, yes. Find a community. Find
Mm,
a community that can support you. I was surrounded with for a beautiful community that
mm,
made me like okay. Sometimes like okay, I can do this. I can do this.
mm,
With friends and also with a lot of with other international students. You create your family there,
mhm.
your little family with other international students. Um, but that's my biggest advice. Find a community. Don't isolate yourself from people. Um, and make time to do fun things, not just study.
Mhm, mhm,
Not
mhm.
just take time,
Yes.
take time for yourself.
Yes, I love that. The Latinx Education Collaborative, a big part of what we've done since we've been around is just getting teachers together. And this is my favorite thing to do is ask an educator or doing these live streams because someone hears your story, my story, Alfredo's story, Genesis' story, Noemi's story, and says, "Oh my gosh, I can do this," and or like you build those networks in those communities in this virtual world, and maybe it motivates someone to do it one more day, right, or to write that essay or take that test, so I really love that building community, is really really important. um, Carlos mentioned, "Oh, I'm already part of your lovely community." I love that. And Carlos mentioned that, before you did too. So like that community piece seems to be, kind of a recurring theme and really, really important. So things, in the world is just, there's a lot of uncertainty, verdad? And our students are feeling the impact of the pandemic, and especially, not especially, but I know in particular the high school students, where they got jobs, right? A lot of them went to work during the pandemic, and school was a little more difficult to do. And so through all of that, and everything that's going on, what motivates you? What keeps you going to come to your classroom and teach every day?
Uh, I have my three F, and faith, family, friends, and also uh, my students. My students motivate me to go to a classroom, and it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie and say, "Oh, everything is beautiful." No, it's not, because
Mhm.
it's not. We have challenges
Mhm.
a lot of challenges as teachers, as a person, you know. Uh, but when you see your students like opening their hearts to you, talking to you, like saying like, "Oh, teacher, I like you. Oh, you're so sweet." So no, those kind of things, you like, made my day. You know, those kind of things made my day in regular basis. So like, okay, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Mhm.
And you know what? What happened to me today? Something very special.
Mhm.
One of my students. I usually wear my Misu t-shirt to go
Mhm.
to school on Fridays. And one of my students said, she's a senior. She's a senior. She's graduating this year. And she
Oh.
said, "Oh, Miss, I want to go to Mizzou. I want to go. I want to go." He said, "Yes, you can go. Do
Mm.
it. Apply to Mizzou." And then later she asked me for a recommendation. "Teacher, can
Oh.
you give me a recommendation? Can you write me a letter of recommendation to go to Mizzou?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." And then she said, "Teacher, I got accepted. I got accepted MSU." Like, oh wow, that was a really great news for me. That made my day. That
Mhm.
I'm happy now. I'm super happy.
Yeah,
So
those moments, like there's all these hard moments, right? But then that one really good moment is like, okay, it's worth it.
yes, absolutely worth it.
Oh, that's awesome. Did she do you think she was motivated by you to apply to Mizzou in particular?
Mm, I don't know, but Misu was on her list. Misu
Oh,
was on her list.
that's
And
awesome.
maybe seeing someone who went to Mizzou, and also I share my experience with her, so maybe that helped a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another otra versión of representation matters, ¿verdad?
Yes.
Like we were talking, the panel was talking yesterday about Afro Latinidad and how when people see themselves represented in the places where they're more motivated. They're, oh wow, I can do it. That's another version of that, right? For students to see us and say, I went to this school, you can do it too. I have today I'm repping Hispanic Development Fund,
Uh,
here in Kansas City. I'm a scholar of them. And so for students to see like, oh, I can apply for that, the more and more they see the representation, the more they are like, oh wow, I can do it too. So hearing your story, is I know motivating your students too. Um, Richard has a really good question in the comments. Richard's asking, what programs should other Colombianos utilize to follow your example? Do you know of any programs como que Colombia has with the US or with Mizzou or with Missouri or Kansas City that other Colombianos can take advantage of?
uh, I don't know. I don't know a lot of programs, but I can tell I can speak about my the one that I applied,
Uh-huh.
um, that brought me here.
Mhm.
Amity. Amity is a good program that many students in their final college year in Colombia can use, and it's really good because you gain the experience, um, in, being here in another culture and learn the language. Also, English. I mean, I learned English when I was in college, my second years of college. So English is kind of new. I still new for me.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, yeah,
Oh, it's awesome.
and I get like a scholarship to learn English when I was in college. It's called MLK Martin Luther King program,
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King Jr. program, MLK in Colombia. That's
Mm-hmm.
another program that can help because you had the opportunity to learn English like for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can expand your opportunity applying for other programs that can like bring you here or
Mm-hmm.
another country. It doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be here in
Mm-hmm.
the US or a
Yeah.
country as well.
How do you spell Amiri so that I can put the link in the comments?
A
Uh-huh.
M I T Y.
Awesome. I will put that in the comments for anyone interested in seeing more about the program. You also mentioned the Martin Luther King. Now, that program was offered in your bachelor's in Colombia, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's between the embassy, the US embassy in Colombia and in the US.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really exciting to hear of all the different opportunities that people have to learn English, to come to the United States, and vice versa. I know that there are people from the United States who study abroad and go to Spain and other countries and just become more of a go explore other places and other cultures. And so thank you, Richard, for the question. I'll get that link in the comments. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much for the question. There are a lot of programs, but many people are not aware of. There are a lot of opportunities. That's the problem with opportunities. Sometimes it's hard to find those opportunities.
Hmm. Yes. That's another reason why we're so committed to these interviews, ¿verdad? Is because you sharing that resource may reach to someone in another place that's like, that's my dream. I want to go do that. And these interviews bring that out, like, oh, I applied for this scholarship, or I went to this school, or this program supported me in that. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, keep the questions coming if you all have any questions for Angie. Carlos also has another resource, Faces Incorporated, for anyone who wants to teach in the United States. Hey, that's the first time I'm hearing of that. So, Faces Incorporated is another resource, which I really see. This is what I love about this, is that some of us don't know of these things. And
Yeah,
Carlos mentioned that's how he came
yeah,
to.
that's how I came here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your mom must be really, really proud of your family in Colombia. Do you get to talk to your family often?
Every day.
Awesome.
Every day, every single day. I cannot miss a day
Oh,
without talking with them.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, the next question, it talks about the lack of Latino representation in classrooms, and how Latinos are more likely to leave, or quickest to leave the classroom. As you mentioned, it's not an easy job a lot of days. And so what piece of advice would you give to someone who's struggling, or someone who is feeling a little bit burnt out?
Yeah, yeah, it's not easy. Especially, it's not easy to navigate the system. It's not easy. And certification is not easy. Oh, it's not easy. My advice would be like find communities as Latinx Education Collaborative. Thank you guys. I appreciate your help with
Of
the
course.
getting my certificate. I got my provisional certificate for 2 years.
Yay! Of course.
Thank you so much.
Of
It
course.
was very, very hard. I was lost in the process. I was very lost as an international person. I was lost. I didn't know how to navigate the system, how to navigate many things. But thanks to communities like Latinx education, I was able to get what I want was needing what I needed. So yeah, my advice is that I can't stress this enough. Find a community with others, or create a community with other Latinx or Latino educators. So that will help you to to adapt and don't leave so quickly. So
I love that. I love it. I love what you said, or create one. It just sometimes it just takes um, you know, being kind of brave and having the courage to say, you know what? Maybe there's other people who feel like me. Maybe there's other people who also are craving community that I can reach out to. And our founder Edgar, that's he saw that, right? He saw that a community was needed, and I believed in that mission, and now here we are, right? And so, absolutely, be and as always, the LEC is here to support. So if you're wanting to create communities of belonging and all of that, just reach out, and we're here for you as well. Now, to kind of wrap up our conversation, it's been such an awesome conversation. Thank you so much for all of the resources and everything. You have students in and out of your classroom every day. Some of them are more motivated than others. Some of them maybe have difficult circumstances or situations. But for all of your students, if you wanted them to walk away from your classroom with something, anything, what would you want them to know?
that I love them, and sometimes I tell them like I love you guys, I love you, and I appreciate them. That's what that's because it's important to be for me. It's important to be loved and to be seen. So that's what I want them to know always, that I care about them. I really care about my students, because more they are person, they are other person like me. They have feelings, they have emotions, and they have problems as well. So I really care about them, about their needs and what they think, how they feel.
I love that. And I'm so proud to know that your students have you. And I'm so grateful for you. Um, that you are committed to their health and their happiness, because um, seeing the passion that comes from you, and how proud you are to be able to love your students, that is a really good feeling. I thank you for the commitment you have to the classroom and to your students. Of course, thank you for being here with us yesterday and today, for representing for Colombia, for representing for your family.
Yes. Colombia in the house.
Any final thoughts or kind of messages you want to leave with our community?
uh my just I just want to say thank you so much, and I feel honored to be here. I feel honored to be part of this beautiful community. And my final thought is like, find your own community. If you feel like alone, you are not alone. You are not alone. We are all struggling. So find your community, and you are loved, you are appreciated. So, and you can do it. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Mhm.
But you can do it. You have the strength and the power to do it. So that's my final thought. My final.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for those really kind words. And you heard it. Find your community. I'm sure Angie, if anything resonated with you about Angie's story, I'm sure she'd be happy to chat with you about it. I, of course, am always here for you, Susana at latinx@co.org, and as well as the Latinx Education Collaborative. Angie, thank you for your contributions to and telling your story over the last couple of days. And I very much look forward to collaborating and working together.
Thank you so much, Susana.
Yes,
I really
of
appreciate
course.
it. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
of course. Nos vemos pronto, ¿eh?
Nos vemos. Muchas
Bye,
gracias.
everyone. Of course.